Hey guys, it's Sabre, and this is going to be the first half of a tutorial on Ivy's up air. One of the most unique areas in the game, using Ivy's up air is key to a lot of her more optimal strategies, because not only does it halt any upward momentum that she might have from a jump, but it also sends her downwards faster than she'd be able to fast fall. And the attack itself can affect the opponent in 4 different ways, depending on where and when you hit them with the move, which obviously impacts how you're interacting with the opponent. So let's briefly cover those before moving on to some more niche stuff. So the first hitbox directly above her is Ivysaur's sweet spot. It's right above her and in kind of the bulb area, and that's the move that sends the opponent with the highest vertical knockback. It sends them almost straight up, and it charges her solar beam. So that's what people usually go for when they're trying to get a kill. A little more out to the sides, and coincidentally sending people a little more sideways or diagonal angle, is the sour spot on her up air, which is also above her. People usually switch between those two for juggling depending on the weight of the character, the percent, and the situation, and each can set up for solar beam depending on the scenario. In addition to those two, when Ivysaur sends herself downwards at the beginning of the up air, she actually has a hitbox that is beneath her that you can hit people with, which is often used to hit people off stage. Little known fact, this is actually 2 different attacks. For the first 4 frames after Ivy's up air comes out, that's a spike. So if you hit them beneath her or a little out to the side, you can spike them. After those 4 frames, it stays out for a much longer time, but becomes immediate, and gradually weaker over time. Each of these are pretty useful in their own right, and especially when combined with Ivy's great aerial mobility, she can alter her momentum in a lot of ways that allow her to do some super cool stuff. So let's get right into that. So the first thing I'd like to go over is the ability to platform land Ivy's up air, which basically means when you jump below a platform, instead of up airing below the platform and then falling back to the ground to do something else, you do it just above the platform so that you immediately, the hitbox comes out and then you can immediately touch the ground and act out of it. This is a really fast way to put out a hitbox and then be right next to your opponent instead of having to jump back up to the platform. And it's especially good for continuing juggles or for following up on a tech chase. So there are a few major situations where you can do it. It works on basically every platform. It works on every side platform, not the top platforms unless you're jumping from a side platform. And the main scenarios in which you'd use it are if you hit someone up to the top platform and you know that they're still going to be in hit stun and they're not going to touch the platform. You up air, and then by landing on the platform, you can save that much time, you have that much more time to begin your next juggle, basically. On top of that, it can also be really good for tech chasing. You call out one tech roll or one tech in place option by platform landing, and then you're in a position to dash attack or down smash wherever else they go if you read wrong. In addition, one of my favorite setups with Ivysaur in the entire game is when you can get sweet spot up there, platform land it, and then that sets up for full hop nair or double jump nair, which usually guarantees the solar beam. So if you hit that up at around 35 or 45%, that will lead to nair and then to beam, and then death. So being able to platform land your up airs consistently is really important to hitting platform tech chases and generally Ivy's juggle game. Ivy can also perform something referred to as up air from ledge, which is a super fast ledge option that breaks crouch cancel really early, and gives her yet another option back on stage. Because of the meteor properties of her up air's belly flop, opponents can't reduce knockback from the up air by ASDIing down, so only true crouch actually reduces its knockback, which is great considering how many of Ivy's ledge options are easily countered by crouch cancel. I put up a hand cam for this section so you can see what I'm doing, but let's walk through what exactly my inputs are, because they're really similar to how you might ledge dash, something that a lot of people are probably familiar with. I'm falling back off of ledge using the C-stick, double jumping while holding in on the control stick, and then hitting up on the C-stick once I'm over the stage. The reason I don't fall back off of ledge using the control stick is because if I don't get my stick over quickly enough, then I'm up airing off stage and killing myself. Whereas doing it with the C-stick and then moving that upwards is less risky if I screw it up, and it also allows me to buffer having the control stick in the direction that I need. Depending on how fast I'm doing this up air, I can either hit them with the sweet spot part and set up for a juggle, or with the belly flop hitbox that, again, breaks crouch cancel and sets up for some combos I'll go over in a later video. So both can set up for things if you know what you're doing, but you need to keep in mind that the sweet spot requires you to be a lot more technically precise when doing this, and is a lot more prone to killing yourself if you haven't practiced it. So definitely put in a lot of practice and make sure that you understand how and when to be using this, but it's a great option for IVs to be making use of against anyone who's not respecting you at the ledge. I want to do a full video at some point on all of Ivy's options from ledge, because she actually has quite a few, but this is certainly one of the ones to keep in mind. The last thing I want to cover in this video is less of a specific technique and more of something that I'd like to see Ivy's thinking about more in general, but it's about edge cancelling Ivy's up air on platforms. Ivy's up air is more than just an attack. Combined with her great aerial mobility, it also serves as burst movement for what's normally a pretty slow character in terms of aerial mobility, or vertical aerial mobility specifically. And being aware of when and how you can edge cancel her up air gives you a lot more options in terms of dealing with someone below you. Knowing when you can edge cancel allows you to do things like baiting a shield drop by up airing someone on a platform, and then nairing underneath their shield to catch them out because of the fact that nair always has active frames, in addition to just helping you get to the ground faster and with less lag. As her up air goes, having edge cancelling is something that's super underexplored, and will probably be critical to Ivy's vertical movement in the future because of how slow her fast fall is, so that's definitely something you should be on the lookout for. So that's the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys found it helpful. As with my last video, please feel free to ask me any questions you might have in the comments. I'll do my best to clarify anything I didn't explain very well in this video. My next tutorial is going to be kind of a sequel, focusing on specifically how to combo out of the meteor hitbox of Ivy's up air against a grounded opponent, so be on the lookout for that pretty soon. Thanks for watching.